Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of The Breakthrough, and we're so excited today. We've got Chris Pan, who is the CEO of MyIntent, and he's here to talk about his bracelets and intentions and all good things magical. So Mr. Pan,
Mr. Chris Pan.
tell us, our man, about MyIntent.
Well, the easiest way to tell you is probably to invite you to experience it. So,
Love that.
if you were to choose one word that you want as a daily reminder that I would put on a bracelet for you, what would you choose?
100% surrender.
Surrender.
For both of you.
Yeah, that word's been coming up so much for both of us lately with everything, all the change going on in our lives. Jess and I can be complete control freaks. Like we want everything to like be in order and it's not at the moment. It's chaos. Like
Even weird synchronicities with the word. I think that would just really benefit. It's just a great word for both of us right now. What's your word?
I have a couple of words actually. I have the word create and I have the word joy. And they work well together and they work well separately. It's been 5 years since I started making these.
Wow. And how did it come about? What was the inspiration behind?
I was at a retreat, and at this retreat there was a lot of going around and reflection, a lot of I statements. You know, connecting with how we were feeling inside. You know, we were going around groups saying, you know, one word of how you were feeling or one word of, you know, what was coming up for you. And I wanted to take that experience and bring it home with me. And at the end of this retreat, I remember they had us declare like what we were committed to and then what our intention was. And one of the things I committed to was, you know, taking this magical experience. It was 7 days up in Napa, you know, thousands of dollars. And I said, most of my friends and family probably don't have this time or the money to do it, but you know, what if I could take a little bit of this magic and bring it home? I think it was really about the level of connection and the level of openness and vulnerability that the conversations that happened there. It was felt very different than the conversations that happen every day.
Or just more like profound, but like
more personal.
Because having the word on a piece of jewelry, people are gonna ask like, "Oh, what's that?"
Yeah, and what does that mean? Exactly. And you know, instead of talking about the sports scores or the weather or the politics, it's talking about what's true for you and you know how are you feeling.
So would you say that retreat is the whole reason? Yeah, the catalyst to your entire business.
It showed me what was possible because I had been used to a different type of gatherings and parties and.
So was that new for you to do something so spiritual and profound? Okay.
Yeah, it was at a certain point in my life I was seeking some more healing and connection and meaning and positivity, and that came, and then I started trying to replicate something similar, but in an afternoon. You know, not like over 7 days, but I would create these gatherings where I was very mindful and positive, and people would connect over, you know,
You're in LA, like in your house?
Yeah, at my house. So I was doing these gatherings, and one of the activities we did was make each other an intention bracelet, which, you know, looks very arts and craftsy.
So that's how it started, was like...
Yeah, at these gatherings that I would have, you know, we did some meditation, we do some singing or some movement, some painting, you know, but this was the really unique activity, I think, that people were surprised by and really it took off. I think what's different is our focus on really coming up with a word of intention. There's a website called like My Name Jewelry or something, My Name Necklace. You know, there's a lot of people that often they'll come up and they say, oh, just put my name on it. And we'll often say, well, you know, what's one thing you need a reminder of? You probably don't need a reminder of your name. How is this going to have an impact on you? How is it going to make a difference?
I love that. It saved you getting a tattoo, because I was going to get, I was like, I need something like belief or trust or something. And at one point I was thinking a tattoo so I could keep reminding myself, but that's perfect, you can take it off.
Yeah, it's a trigger, and you can have different types of triggers. You can write a post-it note and put it on your mirror. You know, you can change your password. Like a lot of people use different triggers. This is another trigger that happens to
keep you present and reminding of
it's like your, you know, it's like your watch tells you the time, and this tells you your intention. The value is having people come up with their own word. I think that's been a bedrock of what we do. And it's holding space for people. It's letting people process and think about what they need, because you know, it's easy to just have 10 popular words or just like almost assign words. It's like I think you need this, I think you need that. But one of the principles that, you know, we were taught at the retreat was, you know, change comes from within. You know, people know if you give people enough time to figure it out, they know what they need. More so than an external person. You can guide them. You can ask them a series. Like usually when people say, "Hey, help me find my word," or what's my word? And I'll usually say, hey, let me ask you some questions.
Right. So you help guide them rather than give the answers for them, because it's got to come from within.
I think it's part of the principle is teaching someone how to fish. So if you teach someone how to ask the questions, because what they need in this moment might be different than what they need in a month. Yeah. But if they know to keep asking themselves, like, what is my word in that process, then it'll serve them for a long time.
And I'd imagine some people haven't even asked themselves that. Like when you're
do
not
like once a year, like December 31st, you have New Year's resolution.
Right, or if somebody even goes, how are you feeling? You're not going to be like, I would really like to surrender to the universe because I am struggling. You know what I mean? Like nobody says that, even though that's how I feel, but nobody says that. So it actually gives you a space to like actually think about it.
That was a big part of the retreat was every morning we'd check in with like, how are you feeling? And they actually had this piece of paper that had on the left, these are like negative feelings, and then these are positive feelings. And then these down here were sensations. They're not actually feelings. Oh. So they were trying to teach us how to feel.
Can you walk us through an exercise?
And then with your eyes closed, I would invite you to think about somebody you admire. And think about, what's an attribute that you want to bring into your life? What's a quality that, you want to be your best self?
Instantly came.
Yeah, what's that?
It was honesty, actually.
Yeah.
Was it really?
Yeah, from my dad. Because I just love, because obviously I was not like I'm going around being a liar.
Right.
But he's unbelievably honest. I've never met a man so honest. He does not tell lies. I've never in 32 years.
Like not even a white lie. If some like
he's very not even a white lie. Whereas I'd be like, oh, tell that person I'm not in. And I'm like, clearly am. Whereas Dad's like, June's like, oh yeah, just tell them you're not in. He's like, no, don't lie. No, I am in. So I just don't want to speak to you. I'm busy or I'm too tired. Bugger off. And it's just this unbelievable honesty. And I'm like, I love that. Yeah. I wish I could be more like that. So that might help me. Honesty.
So that would be an example of like one question. We have 3 questions on our homepage at myintent.org. So if you're following along at home, you can see those questions. The first one is, what's a virtue or quality you want more of? The second question I ask people usually is, think about the biggest challenge in your life right now. And what would it take to overcome that challenge?
Say that again, what would it take to overcome?
And so things like determination, resilience, focus, balance, those are common things that people...
So what could you include more that would help you
if you think about there's like a challenge, right? Like I remember talking to a cafe owner and I said, what do you want? He's like, success. And I said, well, what is it going to take to have success? And he said, oh, for me, like building this community is going to be key for my new cafe. And he ended up on the word community. Because his goal was success, but it's like, what is it going to take to reach your goal?
Right.
Yeah.
What can you do to have the outcome that you want? Because a lot of times we can't control the outcome, but we can control our actions and our
input. Definitely. How we handle things.
Yeah, it's funny the different, like I was like, surrender, and then now I'm like, kind of along the same lines, but like, breathe, truly. Yeah. Or like calm, positivity. It's gonna be fine. I know fine's not an intention word, but I'm just saying like,
it's gonna be all good. It's gonna work
really
out.
Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Calm.
Mine would be, for the challenges, it would be courage and trust, I think.
Yeah.
Because I have to have courage at the moment, because if I'm all like a nervous wreck with everything going on in my life, it wouldn't be good. So I'd say courage to just like be strong, and then kind of again back to surrendery, trusty kind of feeling. Breathe, like it's all gonna be okay. Trust.
It's totally okay to have multiple, because there's always multiple things that we're working on.
Trust, courage, honesty, surrender. Yes, enjoy it. Breathe.
And then the last question I ask is, what do you want to do more of? What are you passionate about that you want to make sure you spend time on? Because a lot of times it's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day and not actually,
I just literally cut you off. I'm so sorry. I was in my own little MyIntent world. I'm like, what came to your head?
Exactly the same thing straight away. It's creating more creation.
We also have a deck of cards. There are 30 questions in here that take you a level deeper. So the 3 that we just went through are kind of like the jump start.
Ooh.
And then these are...
whip these out.
These are 30 questions in... we put them in 6 different categories. So the first category, I'm going to skip these. Actually, I'll tell you, this is one that's kind of important. This is the instruction card, which is right here.
Okay.
So...
Self-reflection. Pick a question each day and write a response in your journal.
So you can use these as journal prompts. You can use these like
okay.
on a date, like one-on-one, or over coffee with a
That's
friend.
That's a good date.
Yeah.
Or you can do it as a group. Like if you have a dinner party, like I've had friends where
fun
my
for
friend
dinner
Keith,
party.
he'll hide a different card under every dinner plate, and then you know,
Oh, I love
after
that.
you sit down, you like pull your question, and you get to ask somebody at the table.
Oh, that's
I
so
love
cool.
that. Have you got
And
a
you go
spare
around.
pack on you? I want you all at home to think about this right now as well.
What does this world need more of? 100% compassion and empathy. Compassion. If I could give the world one thing, it would be compassion. I think
What does
there'd
that
be
mean? Why? Like why is that so important to you?
because I think a lot of the problems stem from a lack of compassion. Meaning, if we don't understand something, that means it's wrong.
I was going to say understanding and listening.
If we don't understand something, we reject it, and
Yeah.
it's wrong. I don't get it. That's not that's not how it's always been. Whether it's gay marriage to religion to whatever, if somebody doesn't understand it, even racial inequality, some people don't see it, and it's like.
Right.
So I feel like if people just had more compassion and understanding, it was like, oh, you're right. I don't know what that's like. Maybe that was hard for you, or you just that ability to put yourself in somebody else's shoes and go, okay, they're a human. That's somebody's mom or dad or friend or coworker. Like that's somebody.
Yep.
Grey's Anatomy, what's up? But that was not my line. But it's true. And so I think if people had more compassion, I think the world would be a little bit better.
Definitely.
That's what I would say.
Definitely.
I think meaningful conversations and positivity.
Ooh,
Yeah, I
That's
like
why
that.
we're doing this
So
project.
connecting
Yeah.
through meaningful conversations and positivity. I like that.
Yeah.
Mine would be very similar. It'd be understanding, far more understanding, which is really the same as compassion. Because if you have to want to, the willingness to take the time to understand. Because people, I feel like they're capable of understanding, they just don't take the time to actually sit and listen and then understand what they're hearing. So it's one thing, I would say listening is really important as well. Like truly listening and making the effort to understand. And then when you do that, I would hope that you would then change the negative behavior.
And you get to make a
Don't want to
big
do this on
question.
my own. Jess, teammate, ask your own question.
Okay.
If you could have one wish right now, what would it be? No matter how crazy it is.
If I had one wish, it would be for my brain to automatically go to best case scenario versus worst case scenario.
Ooh.
If I had that,
Good
and I know I have the
answer.
power, but if I can change it like in a split second, that's what I would want to do.
So how would you shorten that to like best case? If you had to put that on a little phrase, you could probably train yourself to do that.
Yeah, you definitely can.
I definitely can.
Like if
I just
you
need to
saw it
learn
on your
how.
wrist, like if every time you saw the word like best case,
Train.
Oh.
you could like
Best case.
Yeah.
you could
Best
like
case scenario. Best
teach
case.
yourself to.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
That's
because
a good
what
one
if
for you.
can mean what if negative. Like people are like, what if it goes? What if it's awesome? But best
Yeah.
case.
What's the best case?
Ooh.
Because you're saying by default
Yeah.
your mind usually goes to the worst case.
100%.
Really?
Yeah.
100% of 100% of the time. 100%.
Which is a good survival tactic. But-
Should be great in the
if
desert.
I was in the caveman era, 100% I'd survive from every beast and animal. But in the culture that we live in now,
Yeah.
it's very
It's good to have both.
it's good to have both.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
But
knowing when
but
to
it's
use
imbalanced.
it. Yeah.
It's imbalanced at the moment. So,
Yeah.
ooh, I like best case. Maybe
That's
I
a
could
good,
change my
yeah.
word.
What's your wish? You
What's
didn't
my
say,
wish?
did you?
It's probably health. It's probably just to be like healthy.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that wraps it up for this episode of The Breakthrough with Chris Pan, who started MyIntent. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Comment below your word. I'm curious for everybody's
Yes,
word out there. So like, share,
definitely.
and subscribe.
And answer all of those questions as well that we asked.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks so much.
Awesome. Mwah. Thank you so much for watching and thank you for coming on.
Thanks, Chris.
Yay.
Group
Thanks for having me.
hug.